So you've been doing it. I've actually been going to a tax professional because I think the one time I did it myself, I don't think I did it right, and I ended up owing. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. So I'm like, maybe this is just not my, it's not my ministry trying to do this taxes thing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just because I really try, and I thought, and I, it's crazy. Like when I submitted it at the time that I did, I thought I did, like I thought I did my thing. Like I was thorough. I didn't think I missed anything. But it may have been some questions that I probably interpreted differently or
But
something
just
like that. I'm not
cause,
sure.
but just cause you
But
pay, you end up owing doesn't mean you did it wrong.
yeah, but it was, I think just the amount that I owed at the time for the salary bracket I was in, I was like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. Because I got money back, right? I was in a much lower tax bracket. I got money back, but it's like, but the amount that they accounted for that they said was like not reported or wasn't reported correctly, I was like, yeah, there was some error that I made for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how I knew. That's how I knew I was like, okay, maybe I missed something. But according to the IRS, to them, they're probably thinking you trying to get over on them. But for me, I was like, I think I genuinely probably missed something. I didn't recall
Yeah,
what it
well,
was.
they
So
don't care. They don't think they draw to the point where they think you're trying to get one over on them because they got the number right at the
I
end where
don't
they
know.
like, where
Yeah,
they
they have
got,
like a generic number that they go off of. Yeah,
but not only that, but they like got their money from you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And they
that's
thought you were
true.
trying to get one over on them. They would have sent the FBI to you instead. They wouldn't have
Mm.
just be like, oh no, here's the correct number. No, you know
But
what
you
I
get
mean?
audited first. You get audited first before all of
Yeah,
that.
but you didn't even get to go to the audit level even before that. You know,
No,
so
I
it's
got
like
audited. I actually got audited.
you got audited.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I got audited, bro.
You
Yeah.
got a letter that said the IRS has you under
Yes.
audit.
Yes.
What the
And
fuck?
I would.
It's so
That's what.
rare.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You
Not
went
only
to
did
a
I get
tax
that,
lawyer?
I did, and I went to an accountant, and they were like, "Yeah, like the numbers, it does look kind of off." And I was like, and they were asking me questions like, "Are you sure you report everything?" I was like, "Bro, everything I got from every company or whatever, my contributions, all this, like I reported it. I don't see what I did wrong." I mean, this was like, I don't know, this was like 6, 7 years ago, so it's kind of hard to remember everything. But apparently, yeah, they said I made some kind of error somewhere, and it looked weird to the IRS, and they said, okay, we're gonna audit the year, we're gonna audit that current year and 3 years prior.
Damn, what was that
Uh,
boy Jeff up to
yeah,
6, 7 years ago? I wonder. You know what I mean? That was a whole different life out there, huh?
it
It
made
catches
I ain't
up
gonna
to
lie,
you, Jeff.
it made me feel crazy. The first person I thought about was Wesley Snipes. I was like, come on, man. I ain't know,
That's you and
like
your
I ain't
boy
know
Wesley,
this.
man. What y'all
I'm
been
like,
up
I
to,
ain't built like
man?
that, man. I ain't
What y'all
know
been up
that.
to, man? 6, 7 years ago, that nigga Jeff was fucking
Yo,
out in these streets.
I'm not gonna lie, I was sweating. Well, I was like, because what made it crazy is just the looming presence that the IRS has on American citizens. Like that's kind of what I felt. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know I didn't do anything wrong, and even if I did something wrong, it wasn't intentional. I was like, yo, I in my mind, to the best of my ability, I thought I
Yeah,
did it
but
right,
they step to you, did they step to you like that though, in terms of like being
bro.
intimidating and threatening and stuff like that?
Well, no, they didn't. It didn't get to that level. I'm sure it could have gotten to that level if I was like being unruly or something like that. But like it only got to the level of like um I got the letter, the auditing letter, and like when I went to my account online, it told me that hey, your tax returns are being audited. So it like the IRS, at least the fair thing that they do is they notify you quite a bit, like when this process happens, and they
Mm-hmm.
really give you like a lot of time to correct it. They'll be like, hey, we'll give you even like 6 months to a year to get everything situated. Like they give you a lot of time to really get your
And
affairs
then
in
to do
order
what? To refile or
and to amend your tax return, to
to
amend it.
amend it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, which is what I ended up doing. I ended up amending it, and I was straight. Like the numbers and everything, the numbers checked out.
Who did the
I went to
amendment?
actual.
Did you go to a tax person to do the
Yeah,
amendment? Yeah.
yeah. I went straight to the tax person, and I was like, "Yo, like I'm getting this notice from the IRS. I don't, I don't know how." And even he was laughing. He was like, "Dang, you get audited." I was like, "Yo, can you give me a little bit of encouragement?" And he was just kind of making it. He
Nah,
was
bro,
like,
it's wild for
"Yeah,"
people that are like under certain level of income to get audited.
and still get
To get audited, like
bruh.
you like
Telling
that's
me,
a waste of because the thing is it's a really waste of it's a real big waste of resources to try to recoup, right? Somebody who's at the level of where you was at 6, 7 years ago.
mhm,
Because what I mean, just I'm pulling numbers out, but it's like maybe you owe, let's say you owe them $10,000.
mhm,
10,000, let's say 10K,
mhm.
right? They put in all that work, all those resources from supplies, from human hours, from other human hours to coordinate, to talking to a different department, resources on the network, all kinds of freaking resources they put to get $10,000 out of you versus using that resource. And mind you, the man hours for a government worker, okay, is not cheap, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
I mean, sometimes it might even be a contractor that's doing that that payment, so they get paid more, even they get paid even more to go look into this, trying to get $10,000 out of this person versus using the same level of effort for some of these millionaires and billionaires. And if you use that same energy towards them, you could probably recoup $10 million for the government. Just use your resources there. Like you got to be way more discerning as a government agency. You're like, yeah, great, everybody should be equal of the law, but like, whatever happened to prioritizing your resources or your case files?
But government agencies, they don't think that way. That's not how government agencies function. They function in a more mechanical way, where everyone is a number, and it's all about numbers, and it's all about meeting a threshold. It's all these things are automated. It's just it gets, when it gets to the person is when, like, okay, a person's actually being audited, right? Like that's why you have IRS auditors, and they'll look at your case specifically to the point where they assign you someone. Like you have a person's name and everything, and their ID number, their employee ID.
Right, but even in your example, you're no longer a number. You're actually an individual. At that point.
Now you're an individual. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but you're if you're a massive institution like what it is to be the United States government, or even just the IRS, you gotta have a filtration system. You can't, you're not gonna know everybody's first name, last name.
Sure.
Favorite colors. You know what I'm saying? What team they root for and all that kind of shit. You'll get a lot.
Sure.
And to your point, actually, I think the IRS has enough. The IRS has enough to where they don't need us to be filing shit anyways. To where you don't need to be doing your own taxes, where you can make a mistake that gets you audited. Every fucking time we get a paycheck, they took their money out that check.
Yeah.
Y'all got them numbers, right? Yeah. Y'all did it every paycheck. Y'all took it out. So why now I gotta like, hey, let's see if Darwin remembers how much. Yeah, let's see how Darwin remembers how much he said he put on that paperwork, and have him add up all the gross that he got all year long. Just to be like, well, nigga, y'all got that information. Y'all got it from me before I even got my take-home pay. Y'all got all of that. Y'all just supposed to send me a bill, or just send me like a receipt, right? And if I get a return, you know what I mean, it'll be in my receipt. They let me know that, hey, here's what your taxes were this year. Now, if you want, and you think the government fucked up somewhere, you can get it. Here's the whole file that we have on you for this year. You can get it audited. Pay for your own private audit. Pay for the accounting service to do it, and then that's your accountability if you really want to go through that effort. But like
it does make more sense to do it that way.
They already got the information.
To put the onus on the individual if they feel like they're being.
Yeah, and then if you fudge up, and who knows what other dominoes may fall, you can end up going to jail for the mistake that you made about your taxes. A couple other dominoes go the wrong way. You miss a notice, or you forget, or you don't have the money to pay, or just the resources to get an accountant, or whatever. Next thing you know, you're going to jail because of fucking $10,000 or $5,000. Even if you just pay them half of it or something like that, the resources that they're using just to acquire that little bit from you, bro, that shit, the math ain't math, and it ain't worth that. It ain't worth that. Like it's like that freaking missile that they shot the Chinese balloon on. It's like, I think that thing was like a $400,000 missile. So they shot the Chinese balloon down.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know.
And one of them missed. That's crazy. One of them missed.
Oh my God.
Like
one of them missed. With all the technology we have, one of them
missed. and landed in the lakes. And when they got it with the second, that's 400. So that's $1 million basically right there, just to shoot this goddamn balloon down.
That's crazy. I didn't know one of them missed. I didn't
it's so wild to think that that's the biggest. It's so wild to think that that's the best solution that we had to take down a balloon. That's so funny because it's like a novel ass problem, right?
Yeah, it's very
like a weird ass problem. Like it's so small, but it's so high up in the air. You know what I mean? Like You can't just get a helicopter. You can't just fly somebody over it and parachute have them land on it. Dog, this is why we need jetpacks. This is why we would need a jetpack.
Working on it. Military's working on it for sure. I know they're working on it.
They needed that bit right there. Needed to be that. You remember back in the day this movie called Rocketeer? I don't know if you remember this movie.
Yes.
Rocketeer.
I can remember that movie. Yeah,
that boy said that was that Rocketeer boy up there. You know what I'm saying? And get up there and just like freaking hit it with a pin. Did the psst.
Yeah, just fall out
you know
the
what I'm saying? What's that big good now? You know what I'm saying? Nice and easy, like the Rocketeer out there, bro, to save the day. But you know we don't got the Rocketeer, so we had to freaking shoot that mug down with a goddamn missile. Right, so
missed it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's your government. That's your government. So you know,
all kinds of sonar and geolocation technology and missile lock. You still miss it, bro. That's wild.
Yeah, and you need me to fill out my own taxes.
All right,
my own. I need to fill it out, and then you catch it on the back end.
Yeah.
Nigga, when you been had the number, you knew what the answer was. Why you asking me?
Facts.
Sons of it.
Yeah, bro, it was that was a time where I realized I was like, dang, bro, we really out here on your own for real. Like this tax system is just, it's so archaic, it's so poorly designed. Man. But you know, people don't care enough to like really do their research on it, but until it hits close to home, right? Then you feel incentivized to like really look into it.
Yeah.
Which is what ended up happening to me. And I was like, all right. But yeah, I thought that was kind of stupid too, because I was like, bro, I'm just one guy in this.
I'm just little old me. Collecting this little old paycheck.
But yeah, but but they were like, that's how I know it's an automated system that's just how it flows. Because it's like, because they're probably also looking at like
chewed up by the system. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. But they're also probably looking at like you're one of like maybe 30,000 other people who had the same issue or something like that. That's kind of
and then I guess if they collect enough of y'all niggas together, then it'll add up to a pretty penny. Now look, the government just got $2 million back. Granted they put $6 million worth of resources into it, but they got $2 million back versus put into $2-3 million of resources into it and get $60 million back. Look at this freaking bank they just had to bail out SVB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that if you focus too much on these little small everyday problems where people are just trying to like survive and focus on these grand situations that are being set up and that are looking like they're gonna be too big to fail, type thing. If you address those with regulations, you address those with the proper auditors and the stress testing, you could prevent a larger fucking problem that will inevitably help the little guy anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just it's not designed to make sense. That bit is designed to work, and all we've been doing is building other systems on top of prehistoric systems.
Yeah.
On top of them. That's the whole foundation. A bunch of prehistorical systems, just build on top of it, on top of it, on top of it. That's why there's a lot of redundancy in the government.
And some of these systems are influenced by like societal pressures, right? And cultural norms are kind of like forming these type of laws that we're putting in to actual legal practice. They were putting into our actual daily life.
I mean, you're going to the whole point of like the laws, but I was just specifically just talking about the bureaucracy. Just the simple bureaucracy itself, you know what I mean? It go way deeper and way broader to what you're talking about. But if you boil it down, just the sheer bureaucracy, just get this paperwork to this person, bruh.
It's much more complicated than it should be, for sure.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I've read articles on other folks who are like from other countries, and they'll say that the tax system in the United States is way too complicated for the American citizen. Like they're just like some people can fill out their taxes in 10 minutes.
But the reason that it's like that partly is because of the freaking accounting industrial complex.
Yeah.
Like these cats need a job. H&R Block, you think H&R Block not lobbying heavy? You think TurboTax not in some congressman's ear? Like, hey, we're gonna have our headquarters right here in your district. You know what I mean? If you freaking slide on this regulation, you know what I mean? Oh, y'all trying to simplify the tax code? Don't do that. Don't do that. We need people to keep coming to us for these tax services. You're gonna put a lot of people out of business if you make the tax too easy. You know, so
it's a fair point.
Again, corporations, a running theme for me. Fucking corporations are not your friend.
We've been seeing that for the past several weeks.